Hello, world. What music do you enjoy listening to? You're watching the 35th episode of Inspiring Millions Show. This is the show where we celebrate brilliant minds from around the world who share with us their story, one story at a time. Today, our featured guest is Xereé Soul, singer, songwriter, and CEO of the Vicky Soul Academy. Let's get to know her inspiring story in a short while. Thank you for joining us live or on replay. I'm Viva O'Flynn, your host and Global Media Relations of World Humanitarian Drive. World Humanitarian Drive, also known as WHD, is an international NGO founded in Croydon, UK, by British Indian global peace activist, entrepreneur, writer, Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed. The primary vision of WHD is to promote peace, education, and trade harmony initiatives globally among everyone across the world, regardless of race, gender, religion, or nationality, living as one family. WHD is striving for humanity. This Inspiring Millions Show is your show. As always, we encourage you to engage and interact with us. Please help us spread inspiration to the world by sharing this link. Put your questions that you would like to ask our guest, Xereé Soul, greetings or comments that you have for us in the comments box. We would love to read them later on in this show. Let us also know where you are watching this. Wherever you are in the world, let us keep you company and brighten your day as we share peace, love, and goodwill. Welcome to October. It's the month of emotional wellness and positive attitude. Today is the first day of October. It is World Smile Day, Less Than Perfect Day, and International Music Day. We are delighted to have with us in this week's episode of Inspiring Millions Show, Xereé Soul, a talented singer, songwriter, and producer. Previously living in New York, she worked with D-Teck, Konvict Musik, wrote and recorded for artists such as Snoop Dogg. Studying in London and New York gave her an education in fashion, branding, and creative direction. She also composes music for media productions. She's performed at concerts with some of the biggest names, as well as having her music on a number of TV dramas. Her sound can be described as captivating and dramatic. She's known for her smooth, seductive, and soulful R&B sound. Vicky Soul is a light worker and an entrepreneur of the Vicky Soul Academy. She considers it her mission to inspire and ignite a shift in the human consciousness through music. Thank you for being with us here today, Xereé, joining us all the way from Mexico.
Hello.
How are you today, Xereé?
Absolutely beautiful morning, waking up on the 1st in the month. It's very inspiring, and World Smile Day, which is fantastic. A smile signifies your journey in life, and I'm very blessed to be here to share my knowledge with you and to tell you a little about my life and my academy and the work that I'm currently doing.
Thank you, Xereé. Xereé, could you please introduce yourself to the world and share a brief story about you?
Yes, absolutely. So I am Xereé Soul. I was born and raised in Norway by my Norwegian mother and my British father. So I'm bilingual. I've had an enormous interest for music my whole life, and I've composed music, played piano since I was 7. And for me, music is a language of emotions, as how you can communicate without actually using words. And I have my whole life been very much an adventurer, seeker, entrepreneur. I've traveled the world, lived in different countries. I absolutely love getting to know new cultures, new people from different places, experience beautiful food culture, beautiful nature, and I'm on a constant journey in this shift of the human evolution of consciousness.
Yeah, so Victoria, you mentioned you're born and raised in Norway by your Norwegian mother and British dad. So what was it like growing up in Norway?
So Norway is an absolutely beautiful country. We obviously have the nature that a lot of people know about. But my father actually came over to Norway from the UK as a DJ in the 70s. So I do have the influences of music from a very young age. He met my mother and they settled down in a beautiful place called Fredrikstad in Norway. So my upbringing was, it was in a beautiful little place with lovely nature, a lot of snow in the winters, but also the summers are really nice and hot. And it was a very safe environment to grow up, but also I was very different than other children. Obviously, having an English father was very exotic and very different. And so I spent a lot of my life actually in England as well, visiting my English family. So I would say that I feel actually more British at heart, but I really embrace the beautiful upbringing that I did have in Norway, because it showed me a completely different way of life. And you know, very healthy in Norway. We do skiing and we have amazing, you know, food, vegetables, and it's starting to be able to it's starting to be able to be a part of a culture that's so well respected in the world as well. So growing up in Norway was very interesting, and I'm thankful that I had such a beautiful country to grow up in.
That's great, Victoria. So you mentioned that you felt what it was like to be different. So how would you wish people would treat those different from them?
So I think it's a very important point to treat everyone equally. We see a lot of parts of the world that has a lot of racism and that has a lot of either, you know, from different cultures and skin colors. I was actually considered very as an outsider because my father was British and my mother was Norwegian, and that was very different for a lot of people. And I think we've come far in kind of the evolution of acceptance of accepting wherever you come from, whatever, you know, culture or skin color that you have. And for me, it was quite challenging, and I found my way. And I think my message to other people is treat people equally. You never know what their story is. I used to work for Anti-Racism Center in Oslo for a number of years, doing workshops in motivation and songwriting and music production. And, you know, these kids that were that I was taking care of and that was in my groups, you know, a lot of them had religious backgrounds and strong cultures from all over the world, but they were born in Norway. So, I mean, initially they are Norwegian. However, they have a very strong influence from a different culture. So I think we should all take a moment when we meet someone or when we get to know someone or see someone and we never know their story, because everyone has a story, a unique written story. And this is what I find so fascinating about traveling and meeting people and discussing with people, because it's so educating actually to learn about these different cultures and to learn about different ways of life. But it's very important also to treat anyone with respect. And you never know, even when I'm out driving, and if someone does like a bit of a dodgy move or they pull out, I always think to myself, you never know what that person has experienced today. You never know what that person's going through. Maybe they're thinking a lot about things. Maybe some kind of life situation has happened. You know, act with compassion always. Always think that there must be a reason why certain people are doing what they are doing. However, I really, I'm very I want to signify the importance of equality and treating people with respect, no matter where they come from or where they are in life, in their consciousness as well.
That's a very important message. Treat people equally with respect. So Victoria, what got you into music?
So I had a lot of music influences from my family as I was little. But for me, I think, like I say, I feel like music is a language without words. It's a feeling. And I'm a type of person that feels deeply, and I'm very emotionally. And I think through my music, I channel that kind of vibration and energy, because everything in the universe is vibration and energy. Like Nikola Tesla mentioned, has a lot of quotes about this. And one of his famous quotes is that if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, vibrations, and frequency. Now, if you think about it, music is a frequency, it's an energy, it's something that you connect to, something that you could feel. That's why, for instance, if you are in a specific emotional state, so say you're upset about something, in one instant, if you put on a song that you personally have some kind of memories, good memories, a good situation, if you're in a sad state and you put on music or one specific song, it can trigger your emotion in the second and change your emotion and your vibration to a higher vibration. So for me, music has been a very important aspect of my life. And when I was young, I had a grandfather in Norway that plays the accordion, traditional music. My grandmother, she played the piano. I was in the choir since I was quite young. My father, obviously growing up with influences of him being a DJ, he has his record collection. You know, I've been born and raised on that 80s music, Earth, Wind and Fire, the disco, the funk, soul. Very fortunate to kind of get that in as at a very young age. But I was already on stage when I was 4 and 5 with my grandfather. I was always out there wanting to sing, wanting to be a performer. And, you know, it's interesting, today is World Smile Day, because when I perform to people, I think one of the most exhilarating aspects of a performance is to see the impression that you make on people. So when I'm singing, or if something, the words that I'm singing, or even just the tones that I'm singing is giving such an emotion that people, you can see that on their faces, they light up and they smile and they just feel peace. That is absolutely a magical aspect of being a singer and working with music.
Yeah, I enjoyed hearing the things that you said about music, about making people smile through music, and music is a language without words. So Victoria, what do you love most about music?
I think music is one of the most important aspect of our daily lives, I would say. If you think about it, if we had no music, what would your day be like? If we had a film or a TV drama or a TV series with no music, it would not give you that same connection. It would not give you that same feeling. It enhances the action. Or so say, for instance, if you are a person that needs to travel every day, or if you're a person that spends a lot of time either commuting or in your car or on a train or on a bus, this is a unique time to listen to music. And you see often people always listen to music and have headsets every day. And I think this really motivates and inspires and raises your vibration, as I would say. So music is so important in everyday life. I've taught in many occasions. I've taught about the power of a playlist. So, you know, one little recommendation, as I would tell everyone, is make yourself different playlists with different topics in different situations throughout your day. So say, for instance, in the morning, it is scientifically proved that what we listen to in the morning and what the first thing that comes into our head in the morning has a major effect on the rest of the day. So for me, in the morning, I do meditation, but also I like listening, and I've built my own playlist, and I like listening to kind of soft background music, even if it's like ambient, it can be classic, it can be many genres, it can be soft house, soulful house, more like classical, as I said. As the music that I'm having in the background, I'm not sure if you guys can hear it. It's more, it gives you that feeling of ease. It gives you that feeling. So anything that you need to handle in the morning, for example, if you have children or if you're on your own, if you have a busy morning, you know, having music on in the background is a very, very helpful tool. So using different playlists as a tool in your life can change a lot in your life. So anytime you're having a challenge, or you're like, oh, I have so much to do today and this and that, it's all about having a high vibration. You have two choices when you wake up in the morning. You can choose to either think, oh, I've got this to do and this to do and this to do, and, you know, kind of like feel a little bit, feeling that that's a little bit too much to deal with that day. However, if you choose the other way, oh, I've got this and this and this and this and this, use music as a tool, listen to music and start doing the morning routine or the things you need to do. And things are going to work in so much more of a flow. So music has a lot to do with flow as well. And flow is what you kind of want to stay in the whole day. Whatever challenge that hits you, whatever tasks that you need to perform that you might, you know, not look forward to and that you need to do anyway, very important. You can use music as a tool, and I'm not sure if people are conscious about this. So building your own playlists and using them as a tool in everyday life is a very, very is a great idea, and you guys should try it, everyone.
We can tell how passionate you are about music, Victoria. So what are your hobbies and interests outside of music?
So I also run the Xereé Soul Academy, and there's a lot of studying that needs to be done on a personal path and also on an educational path as I'm building my brand at the moment. But my hobbies are a lot reading, a lot of research, I absolutely get so inspired by listening to podcasts, by listening to different YouTube channels, other spiritual leaders around the world. And for me, my biggest thing is walking. I love walking. Maybe it's something from my Norwegian ancestors and us, you know, constantly going to the mountains or walking in nature. But walking for me is a type of meditation. And every time I go walking, I either listen to audiobooks. I love listening to audiobooks instead of just reading. I listen to all kinds of podcasts. I listen to anything that's inspirational that can give me ideas of pursuing my path forward within either my music or my lyrics. And, you know, being a songwriter as well, you can pick up so many ideas from lyrics or from ideas for songs just by being out and walking. You know, you can walk down the street, you can see a situation between two people, you can catch a moment of passion between someone kissing or giving a hug, or a little child, you know, having love from their parents, or a little child crying. You know, all these moments that you can kind of walk by and observe and catch. As a songwriter, it gives me a lot of ideas. And I love my meditations, and I love Pilates. Is one of my passions also, to train Pilates. I just found it's very, it's the right type of workout for me. And traveling. So traveling is my number one passion, meeting people, going to different cultures. You know, for me, walking up a street, knowing absolutely no one, and talking to the grandma on the corner that's got the dad over and then the brother, and you don't always speak the language, but, you know, they come and say, oh, come and have a cup of tea, or come and join us, and you learn something about the culture. Or there's, like, it goes back to what I said, that everyone has a story. And I think it's such an honor, and it's so beautiful to meet different people that are able to talk about their stories and backgrounds, because it gives such a diversity, and you start understanding, that everyone is going through a lot of different things in their life. And I find it very fascinating from a psychological point of view as well.
It's very fascinating hearing your story. So you're a singer, songwriter, producer, and a CEO of Vicky Soul Academy. So what is your creative process like? How do you come up with ideas?
Yes, it's very interesting. When I did my bachelor and my master degree in music, I was studying the creative process. And as a last major piece of my master degree, I actually studied the dynamic of musicians working together and the creative processes of how they would work together. And I've been very blessed to be able to travel many places. I've worked with producers in Berlin. I worked with people in New York, as you introduced. I've worked with some very talented Norwegian musicians. And I think the creative process is very personal from one to another. And the dynamic of when you meet, you actually might merge and change your creative process. But personally for me, if I'm going to compose something or write a song, it starts with the music for me, because like I mentioned, I very much connect to music on a very deep emotional level. So to create a song, for instance, I would maybe come up with an idea of a hook, or an idea of, like I said, if I walk somewhere, if I see a situation, even friends in my life, family in my life that are going through a certain situation or feeling some kind of way, I always say to myself, right, I'm a very conscious songwriter. I think, how can I positively impact other people that are going through a similar situation, and to try and, get them to listen to a song and say, yeah, that's how I feel. That's how, and it's okay to feel this way, and this and this and this, and navigate through all of this interesting thing called life, right? So my creative process mostly is that I would come up with some kind of idea, or I would sit down at the piano and I would start making some chords. I would come up like a little melodic hook, a little hook line, as we call it, a top line. And then I would kind of just sometimes even just close my eyes, listen to the sound, listen to the music. What does that specific music piece give me as an emotion of what it's about? And also when I collaborate with other producers, and I love collaboration. Like I said, I did my part of my master degree about creative processes and collaborations between people. Now, this is where magic really can happen, because you can step into a room with all of what you have and your knowledge and how you write and how you sing. And then I would meet someone that, obviously works in a completely different way, and they have their own creative process. Now, when you merge those two pieces, it's amazing what kind of results that you can have. So this is why I say to a lot of artists, a lot of singer-songwriters, they tend to have this little syndrome of only wanting to do their own work and only wanting to write their own lyrics. And once you just get on one person on board to co-songwrite or to co-produce music or work together, you can come up with things that you would never ever think that you came up with, even if it's just one sentence. Often when I sit in the studio and we're recording something, or I'm there to kind of shadow or help another artist, I always come up with creative ideas. Now, what about doing it this way? What about if you put the tone there? What about if this and this? And that's the beautiful dynamic between people when they collaborate. It's very, very powerful to bring other people on a team. And that we all know, working in a team and working with more people and more individuals than just one person is absolute, it's the road to success. It is the road to success. But my creative process is usually, I come up with ideas, and I'm highly intuitive. I can pick up a lot of different feelings from people if I walk down the street, or I get like a sense of what is it that Vicky Soul needs to share with the world right now? What kind of song will inspire? I always think about, I'm here to channel music and to write music so that I can inspire and help others in their situation, in their life. as a little bit about my creative process. Viva.
Yeah, it's very inspiring too. So you're a CEO of the Vicky Soul Academy. Could you please tell us more about it?
Yeah, so I have very much connected to the spiritual path, but I feel that the spiritual path has a bit of a name, like, you know, woo-hoo, it's kind of new age, and it doesn't really have to be that. After I did my education and my master's degree, I obviously had to do a lot of work in the academic scene, although it was within music, which is creative. So I thought to myself, going through a university degree and a master degree as well, it didn't feel like they were teaching holistically. So what I was seeing that a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I knew that were doing degrees, they would finish their degrees and they would go out, have the paperwork and have the degree and been working hard, but then they wouldn't, you know, they would go back to work in a 9 to 5 and they wouldn't really be able to kind of pursue their career for many reasons. So this is what made me come into this kind of field of changing education and implementing holistic education. And when I say holistic education, so holistic means whole. So when you're doing a degree, it's very academic and it's very much just signified for that type or level of education. But what about our personal lives? What about what we've been through? What about how we can learn to deal with certain matters in your life? It all ties in with education. And so holistic education for me is talking about the mind, the body, the soul, and also using the academia. This is why I came up with this concept. And at the moment, there is a big shift in human consciousness. And I think the education is a very big part of inspiring others and educating others how to think, how to act, how to deal with traumas that you've had maybe from your childhood or an unfortunate situation, or you lost someone that you love. You know, this all ties in with every aspect of your body, every chakra of your body, your whole energy field. If you are not a whole person, if you are carrying certain things in your life that you haven't been able to deal with, or no one has helped you, or you maybe just shoved it underneath the carpet and think, you know, you might be a very successful lawyer or doing law school, but you might have a lot of personal issues that you haven't been dealing with that are stopping you and blocking you from the success that you are able to achieve. And so I also, in my music production, I also started doing meditation music and writing meditation programs. So I've implemented this also as a part of the academy. There's one meditation that's free and that you can go and listen to. It's called the 11:11 manifestation meditation. It's 11 minutes and 11 seconds, so I'm sure that you can take your time out to try that. And it focuses and rebalances you. So say, for instance, in an educational space, in my point of view, before a class or before having a big lecture, if you could do a manifestation meditation, or you could do some kind of way of, we all have different methods and we all react in a different way and we like different things, which is fine. But if we could have in education and implement in education these type of holistic ways of thinking, so that we could calm down, we could do a quick breathing exercise, we can kind of tap into the knowledge that we are now going to be given. And that way, I think education would be a completely different ball game. And this needs to be implemented in traditional education as well, to change the face of education and to implement more of this. A lot of universities do have a little bit, a few options of doing mindfulness, which I very much applaud and support. However, I think that this isn't enough and it isn't sufficient, because a lot of people growing up, we have a lot of news around us, we have a lot of world situations, we have a lot of noise that can kind of affect your energy field and that affect how you are as a person, and maybe keep you a bit, get you unbalanced. That's why it's very important to read yourself and to balance yourself, to be able to handle any kind of situation. And this ties in with education as well. So the Vicky Soul Academy is a result of my personal experience from going through university degrees and master degrees and kind of implementing what I felt was missing that I had to do on the side next to doing my education that I feel should be implemented in an education. So we're currently working, and you can go to the website and you can sign up as a free tribe member to get emails every month and free meditations and a lot of content that we put out from YouTube that you can research yourself as well. So it's it's my life project. Next to my music, it ties in with the music of me being an artist and a songwriter and composer. I have my career, but the Vicky Soul Academy is a place where I want people to come and join so that we together can re-educate and educate each other on mind, body, and soul, so we can evolve, all of us.
That's really great. And then, so we'll just post the links later on, including the 11/11 meditation that you mentioned.
Yes.
So, Victoria, you're also a light worker. Could you please tell us more about it, what you do?
Yes. So I think I believe in the universe. I believe that there are more things going on around us than we initially can see. That doesn't mean that it's not real. So I've been on this kind of spiritual path to understand, is this just something that people don't understand? And because we can't see it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, right? But ultimately, it can scientifically be proven. Spirituality is an aspect of your divine being. There's nothing unnatural or paranormal or anything like that. It's literally the universe has a cycle, and it has a sync, and it has a flow. Now, you can choose to join that flow and join that sync. For instance, the different moon cycles. You can hear some people say, oh, I'm feeling this, I can't sleep, or this is going on, and oh, it's the full moon. A lot of people are actually kind of conscious that they may be affected by a full moon. Now, scientifically proven, we are 70% water, and obviously we are going to have different cycles of different months, just like the tide that goes out and then comes in. And planet Earth has, majority of water, and we have in our bodies as well. So there's a connection. There's a connection between us and the cycles of the moon, cycles of the season, cycles of the star signs, of astrology, of the planetary alignments. All of this scientifically can be proven. So what I'm saying is that, it's amazing when you start understanding and seeing the signs from the universe, because, for instance, numerology, I think that personally, numbers are the architects of the universe. Everything in the universe and everything that we can touch physically can be has a mathematical equation, right? For instance, this shell. So this is a beautiful, oh, it has some sand in it. That's so cute. This shell is a beautiful shell that I found on the beach. I'm very fascinated by shells. If you see the shell and you see the shape and how it goes around, this is actually measured in 3, 6, and 9. If you study, it is the origin of the universe, and it's called the Fibonacci code, right? So everything in nature as well can be proven, and numbers is a huge aspect of our life. Numbers that you can see every day, like 11:11, like the meditation 11:11. So 11:11 is a master number. It's a number that signifies new beginnings. It has an energy and a frequency. This goes back to what Tesla said: everything has an energy, frequency, and vibration. So for me, being a light worker and understanding that, hang on, something more is going on here, okay? Is this something I can tap into? Is this something that I can understand? Is there a deeper truth to the universe? Is there something more that we haven't been told? Is there like abundance that I can tap into? Is there some kind of infinite bank of abundance that I can reach in my soul, right? Sounds crazy. You know, this is why I've written a post about this. I've called it Crazy or Conscious. So the thing is that we're now slowly evolving. A lot of people are awakening. A lot of people are using crystals. A lot of people are understanding the different moon cycles. A lot of people, you know, are understanding that there is something more out there that we can tap into and that we can do. And now what I've been doing is working a lot about this. And I believe in spiritual beings. I believe in angels. I believe in something higher, a higher power that we might not understand and that we might not see, but it's still there. And it's just like the laws of the universe, the laws of abundance, the law of attraction. Law of attraction has had a pretty good, they've had the film, The Secret, the law of attraction, and a lot of people are starting to understand now, okay, so what you give out is what is coming back to you. So an example, if you're having a bit of a stressful situation in your life, it's highly important that you act with integrity, honor, respect, and grace. Because whatever happens, it's not about what happens to you, it's about what you do with the situation. It's how you deal with the situation. By keeping high vibrations, so if something like, if you smash a glass, you say, oh, that just happened, I have to accept it, I smashed the glass and that's it. Or if you smash it and you get all upset and you're like, oh no, I smashed it and I don't have time, you know, it's always about your reaction. You have a choice regardless. Always, if someone shouts at you or says something that's not fair, do you want to react negatively to that? Or do you want to say, I can hear that you're angry right now and I can understand that you are in a place of emotions that are triggering you to kind of talk to me in this way. That doesn't mean that you have to accept it, but don't get triggered so that you start arguing back, because this is an energy exchange. If you are also arguing back or saying hurtful words or resentment or anything that can also make that person feel low, it's automatically going to come back to you. What you give out is what's going to come back. So as a light worker, I inspire and talk to people, I coach people and teach them how they, number one, can, for the first tip, change your language. Forget about saying, I don't, I can't, I won't, I'm not good enough, or even something silly, like if you forgot your keys and then, oh, silly, Victoria, you forgot the keys, you're so silly. Don't talk to yourself like that. You're not silly. You were just thinking about something else and you just forgot to grab the keys. That's it. You know, don't be hard on yourself. Don't talk down about yourself. Don't talk down about your body. You have an amazing vessel that does everything for you automatically. Our bodies are so smart that every cell in the body knows exactly what to do. If you cut yourself, do you need to tell your finger to heal? No, it heals, right? It does it automatically. So one of the things that I like doing is coaching and telling people of how they can change their thought process, how they can change their thought patterns, and evoking angels, evoking spiritual beings, because we have these around us. And some people don't believe it and some people do. But you know what? If you look up the word faith, it's believing in something unknown. So when you say have faith, what does that really mean? Well, having faith is trusting the unknown. So when you start tapping into that and start trusting the unknown, magical things are happening. Suddenly you attract the right people. You're thinking, okay, I'm really looking for a car. I'm really looking for a car. And then suddenly you're like, how am I going to get the finances then? Suddenly the next day, you get an opportunity, or someone says, oh, my neighbor's going to sell the car down the street. And you think, oh, what a coincidence. I'm looking for that type of car, or I'm looking for. So this is the magic of the universe that you can tap into and that you can utilize every day in your life. This is why I live in this flow. I don't worry about anything. Whatever's going to happen is what is meant to be. But what I do really think about and am conscious about is when situations occur and when things happen, I always think I can react in certain ways to this, how can I deal with this in a high vibration? How can I deal with this situation and turn it around or make it into a positive, although it might seem negative? Because you know what? Our life is a duality between the light and the dark. We cannot stay positive all the time. Stay positive, stay calm, be positive. You're not always positive. You're not always calm. We have human emotions. We have reactions to things. If someone hurt us or someone does something to us, you know, it's natural to have a reaction. Play it out. Don't suppress your feelings. Don't say, no, I'm going to stay positive. You know, that's not going to help you evolve. It's not going to help you learn about certain aspects of your personality or of your life. So it's a duality. It's duality between light and dark. And as a light worker, what I do is just inspire and help people change their thought processes and how you can tap into this magical energy that the universe has for us. How about that, Viva?
It's very inspiring. So what you give out is what you get, and it's a magical universe.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm just gonna read the comments from our virtual audience.
Yes.
So Win has a comment. So music industry was badly affected also by the pandemic. She's asking, what is your view on mandatory vaccination?
Yes. So first of all, obviously the musicians have been hit quite hard, and the industry obviously has been quite wobbly, and a lot of changes has occurred. Now, what I think is that there's always funds and money in music, and perhaps maybe because you can't tour or you can't sell music live, or perform live on stages around the world, and a lot of parts of the world right now, this is not able. We have amazing technology. Be creative, connect with other musicians, do online Zoom jams if you have to, if you can't leave your home. There's no reason to not be inspired and to turn this into something positive. One of my friends, he's written a really, really good song about his viewpoint of the current situation where the world is in, and he was very upset because of this situation, but he wrote a song about it and he's turned it into something positive. And I think regardless, when you're an artist, you are highly creative, you are highly able to come up with something smart. So I think there's many ways in the music industry at the moment that you can do collaborations with others. Also, I would also, if there's other artists out there, get into music synchronization. There's a huge market of your music, wanting to put your music in documentaries, series, Netflix shows. And these companies pay quite well for you. Like, I had a lot of my music in Norwegian documentaries and films, and they were absolutely honored of having a Norwegian artist feature on their films or documentaries or whatever. And I'm absolutely honored that they wanted to have my music in. But that's a huge market to tap into for people. And also, I want to mention slightly without getting into it, NFTs. NFT and blockchain is the future of the music industry. This is a completely new way in music business to sell a piece, an artwork, even a design that's unique. And this is not following the traditional kind of payment system and the streaming system, because let's be honest, just by having your music on Spotify is not going to generate enough income if you're not a very a known artist having a lot of million streams every day. You know, there's so many talented people out there putting music out, and they're just putting it on Spotify and trying to get it into lists and only looking at that as one direction of promoting your music. There's many other aspects in the world where we need music. Even reach out to your community, your I don't know, like the company down the road that's doing promotion for a product. You know, maybe you can put your music on that, or radio. Maybe you could put your music on a jingle in radio. There's many ways and creative ways of earning an income for music, and I really want to suggest to artists to look at the bigger picture and look at different options. And you know, if anyone wants any more information there, much welcome to contact me regarding that. Now over to the mandatory vaccine. So I personally am against the mandatory vaccines. I feel that in the society, it shouldn't be forced upon you, something that has been produced so quick and that we don't really know what's going to happen in 2-3 years. And what I do not like is when someone or something or an organization is leading by fear. I do not agree, because fear is a lower vibration. Fear is like, oh, you have to have this, otherwise you're going to die. Or you have to do this because everyone else is doing it. Or you have to do it because your family's doing it, your friends is doing it. That's pressure, and it's not positive. And you see a lot of people now are feeling forced to take this vaccine, or feeling forced because they have friends that are saying, we're not going to spend time with you anymore. Or the family are saying, we're going to cut you out. I don't agree with that, because it should be a personal decision. And at this point in time, although it's been approved, we don't know, there's nothing that is better than knowing 3 years down the line what's going to happen. And we have amazing immune systems. I mean, I know a lot of people have underlying conditions, but our body, like I was saying, is so super smart, and we need to treat our body and give our body the nutrition. You can't just, you know, go and get a vaccine and eat fast food and just drink and be unhealthy and not take care of your body, not doing exercise. This is not really going to help. You should always put your body first. Your body is actually what's going to give you this experience called life. And this is very, very, very important to take care of. So look at your routines. What can you change? Can you implement more fruit in your diet? Can you cut down on certain types of food? I mean, I think everyone should enjoy a good pizza or whatever that you're craving that you enjoy. We should, because we're here to enjoy. We're ultimately here to live life and enjoy and be happy, make good connections, and have a beautiful experience. But I think I always very conscious, like, okay, can I drink more water? What more can I do today for my body? What does my body need today? Tap into your intuition. You know, that gut feeling that people say, oh, I had a bad feeling about that person, or I had a bad, you know, I felt that this was the wrong road to drive down. This is your intuition. You can also use your intuition to ask your intuition, what does my body need right now? What do I feel like eating today? Should I just have fruit for breakfast? Should I have a smoothie? That would be great. Do I fancy an egg? That would be great. You know, I think that if you could think about the small things that you can change in your daily life and not be so focused on what's going on in the world and the vaccine. If people choose to do that, that is their decision. You should respect them, as I respect. But I don't personally think that a quick fix with a vaccine that we don't know what's going to happen 3 years down the line is the solution at this point. And I'm very sad that a lot of people are feeling pressured and feeling anger and fear and anxiety. A lot of people are feeling anxiety about this, that, oh, I have to do it because this is what people are telling me. Don't ever feel forced into something that doesn't resonate with you, because ultimately you will know if it's this option or this option, and you tap into yourself and think, right, what's right for me? What do I feel? Do I feel this? Or if at any point your gut feeling or your intuition is saying, don't do this, or don't do, stay away from it. Even if it means that you might have to cut out certain friends or a different dynamic, you have to like not speak to certain people, or you have to, it's important that you stand your ground. It's important that you take care of your values, of what you think about things. Don't act with anger or aggression or place hate on the people that choose to do something that you don't want to do. You know, feel uplifted and strong in your personality, but don't oblige. If you don't consent if you don't feel like this is for you. And sometimes if you are the 5 people that you spend time with, right? You are the 5 people that think in certain ways, which means that if you're in a friend circle, for example, where there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of peer pressure on you, they're telling you to do certain things, it might not be the right circle of friends for you. And sometimes it feels really hard to cut off that maybe people you have been friends with for many years or 2 years or your whole life, doesn't matter. But what you need to kind of see is that we're living in a world now where things are changing so rapidly that you really need to sit down and think about your values. What do I stand for? What is right for me? What type of life do I want to live? What type of friends do I want to have around me? And this is what you can create. If you cut off those things that are not serving you anymore, the new is going to evolve and it's going to come, and you're going to be, you're going to feel a completely different way. You're going to feel, wow, I made these choices and I stepped away from these type of people or these type of situations, and then suddenly magic appears. And it's because you are on a higher level of consciousness. You're choosing the right thing. You're honoring your soul. You're honoring your body. You're honoring your holistic self. You're honoring every part of yourself. So I think anything that pressures you and to force you and to from either governmental sides or friends or family, keep the strength in your heart, keep the strength and your integrity, and don't consent if it doesn't feel right for you.
Don't consent if you don't feel it's right for you. That's really important message. So we have another question from Tongi Gra, and he's asking, what's your personal preferred music for meditation?
Oh, that's beautiful. Now, that's a great question, actually, because when you say meditation music or someone says, oh, meditation music, you kind of have a reference in your head that what type of music it kind of is. For me, I like a lot of electronic music as well. I think electronic music is beautiful. So in my meditation music, I try and use a lot of electronic kind of sounds. I try to use a lot of ambient sounds, even like sounds from space or white noise and these type of things, because I think that they can put you into a different state of mind. Now, meditation music can also be classical music if you want, or meditation music can be a simple just piano note or just a violin. It's a very personal reference, and it's a very personal journey that you take when you do meditation music. And what I would like to kind of say to people is, don't think that meditation music is just one specific genre or one specific sound. Try meditation music on different platforms. Even I've written a lot about this, binaural beats. So binaural beats has a certain frequency and a vibration, and it's a beautiful experience. You can go on YouTube, for instance, and put in binaural beats, and lots of different binaural beats with different soundscapes and different noises and different frequencies. Some frequencies are for if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling anger, if you're feeling whatever you're feeling, you can use this. For instance, like, why don't we have binaural beats in the hospitals in the world? Can you imagine if all the hospitals in the world had binaural music and these type of beats that had frequencies that can kind of raise the vibration? So go on your own personal journey and try out different types of meditations, even if it's guided meditations, if it's not guided meditations. Some people just like to zone out and listen to a piece of beautiful music. Even meditation isn't just sitting still and closing your eyes. Meditation can be walking. It can be walking in the woods. It can be just listening to a piece of classical piano and observing the trees and observing the beautiful green colors, or the autumn now, the beautiful autumn colors that are coming. That's also a type of meditation. So if you're a person that haven't really tried meditation before, try different types, try from different platforms and research different types of music and find out what you like, find out what you prefer, because we all have different preferences.
That's great. Thanks for telling us about meditation music. It's what's also playing in the background, is it? Meditation music.
Yes.
So 2nd of October, which is tomorrow, is Guardian Angels Day, to give thanks to our guardian angels. So what would you like us to know about guardian angels?
Oh, I have so much to say, but on my website, I have a brain blog. It's a series of articles written from guests all around the world, working with different within spirituality or within more scientific backgrounds. And there's one there called The Lost Art of Prayer. And it's a beautiful article written of my friend Mirella. And she actually talks about how you can utilize prayer and what type of angels that you can call in. Now, we probably all heard about the archangels and that there are other light beings kind of a thing, but they all have different purposes. Some work with emotional kind of situations, some work even finding lost items, you know. And so we can use this. And in that article that we can post later is a list of the different type of archangels that you can call upon in different type of situations. Now, what I do is I connect to a few of the archangels and I just tap in the morning. I just say, I'm grateful. I plan out my day. Please keep me safe in these and these situations. If I'm going for a long drive, if I'm going on a journey, even if I'm going to have a very important meeting with someone, please keep me safe, please help me. And then tap in and use gratitude. Gratitude is one of the strongest vibrations that you can feel. Gratitude is even just starting a practice by every night mentioning 5 things that you're grateful for can shift a dynamic, a whole different dynamic. But also, guys, like, there are angel cards. There's loads of angel cards that you can actually utilize and use every day. So, for instance, as a practice in the morning, what you can do is pull out an angel card. These are also, this is a very beautiful oracle book, and it's called The Keepers of the Light. And it's one of the books that I have, and I feel it really comforting, you know, also just picking up a card, even like just shuffling, waiting till a card kind of like appears for you. And let's see what we had. Call to action. This suits very well. Commander Ashtar. So, you know, these are like magical kind of signs that I think is a bit like tarot. A lot of people use tarot cards as well. And it's not woohoo and this and that and whatever. Like, it is actually very, very interesting to use this as a form of guidance, you know. And it comes usually with these little books that has a beautiful description about all the different cards and the angels. And there are, like I said, there are many cards out on the market that are absolutely beautiful, these type of angel cards. And if you're a person that has like a little interest and thinks, oh, I haven't tried that before, I really want to try it, you can even order it on Amazon. Some of these card decks are not expensive, and you can use that as an everyday tool. You can do it in the morning, or say, for instance, you're in a bit of a situation in life, regardless what it is, relationships or work or a change. You can think, right, I'm not really sure. I'm trying to tap in, but I don't know what the answer is. You could lay some cards and get some ideas about, okay, maybe that's the direction I should go in, or maybe that is the direction we should go in. Because the answers are already inside, but sometimes it's a bit hard to kind of get them out. And by working with angels, and there's so many of my friends, I've done healing courses, and so many of my friends use it as a daily practice to kind of tap in. And you know what? Magical things really happen to me when I use this. Like, for instance, if there's something I want to attract, I'll call upon angels and say, you know, this would be really beneficial for me if this and this situation, or if I'm able to kind of get this, and always have like a deeper meaning with what you're wishing for or what you want to have into your life. So say, for instance, if you want a house, by manifesting a house or trying to work on getting a house, think to yourself and visualize to yourself, I want a house so that I can cook for other people, so I can invite people in, so that people can come and visit me, so we can have happy memories as a family, or you know, think about it that way, not just I want a house because you want a house. Why do you want that house? Obviously, you want to have a place that's safe and that's nice and that you enjoy and that you can feel at home, right? But also think about how this house could impact children or family members or neighbors, or how many moments you can have around the table having a cup of tea, or how many tears that can be shed in the house, like someone going through a traumatic situation, and how that house can be a beautiful space where you feel safe and that you feel loved, right? So I think, you know, if people don't really know much about this, go and read a few of the articles on my brain blog, as I call it, at the Vicky Soul Academy. But explore like angel numbers every day. If you see 333, 444, 555, they all numbers all have different frequencies and vibrations. They all have different meanings. Maybe you should start thinking that there's a little sign from the universe, because a lot of people tell me, oh, I've been seeing this number all the time. I don't understand. Every time I look at my phone, or every time I step out, I see it on the license plate on the car, or something passes by and it's the number. It's driving me crazy. What's going on? Well, maybe try and understand that there's something more that's here out in the universe is trying to guide you and tap into you, because we all have guardian angels. We all have beautiful beings around us, but we can't see them. And sometimes you just have to have faith, like I said, trust in the unknown, try it out. I mean, there's nothing that can go wrong. If you can use that as a guidance in your life to come, you know, to become more peaceful and to get more results, or to attract more abundance, why not? It's beautiful. It's let's do everything that we can. Let's tap into everything. If you don't feel it's for you, it's not, but at least try it. At least try it once. I usually say twice.
Victoria, we have another question from Clarice de la Costa. She's asking, how do you open the mind of others, tap into their consciousness so they can be more aware of what is happening around them?
That's a great question. That's a great question. Thank you so much for your question. So we have something called our higher selves, which is literally our future self that knows what's kind of going on. If you don't know a lot about higher self, you can do higher self meditations and do a little research around it. But what I kind of do sometimes, because as I see it, people have different levels of consciousness. Now, if people don't understand that the dynamic of the universe and that things act in synchronicity and that there's a flow and that there's an energy, it's only because they haven't evolved in their consciousness to that point. So this is a very good question, because sometimes you're feeling that you're talking to someone and you feel that you have more kind of knowledge or more understanding than that person. It doesn't necessarily mean that this person isn't less smart or in a, you know, treat, like I said, treat everyone with equality. But what you can do is to try to inspire them and motivate them and to think in different ways. Sometimes, like this lady that just asked this question, is probably come into a space that she finds it challenging to communicate with this person, and this person not necessarily is understanding what he or she is trying to communicate. A very good practice that I have as a suggestion for that: do a little quick meditation, envision this person and envision their higher self. Now ask your higher self to communicate with their higher self and have a conversation to say, hey, you know what? I really want to get this person to understand these and these aspects. I really want to communicate this for you. I want the best for you, and I want you to try and evolve, and I want you to try and understand the things that I'm communicating, right? Now, this sounds like magic, right? Well, how's that going to work? You know, just close your eyes, sitting here. It does work, because thoughts have very powerful energy and frequencies. The power of a positive thought is immense. It's absolutely immense. So a thought is kind of like a meditation. When you're sitting, you're having intention and you're visualizing this person, and you're trying to let your higher self talk to their higher self. And then you can say, hey, this and this and this and this and this. Try that out for a few days, and even telepathically try and like envision that you're having a conversation. Because a lot of people say, you know, like, oh, I was just thinking about you, and the phone calls, or you've spoken to a friend a while ago and you're thinking about this friend and you're like, oh, I have to send this friend a message or an email, and then bang, an email comes in from that person or a message. Hi, how are you? I was just thinking about you, right? Is that coincidence, or is that an energy and a frequency from one person to another? You know, there have been many studies of the frequencies of a thought. If you want to look more into this, you can look up Joe Dispenza. He has an incredible mind and talks a lot about this. Also, Eckhart, he speaks about this a lot in terms of psychology as well. So this is what I'm saying. Spirituality means science. It is actually, we are actually able to now these days to talk about how the energy of a thought actually can travel from one person to another. So there's many ways that you can handle this. Even if you've had an argument with someone and you don't really want to pick up the phone, call them or text them, but you feel kind of bad and you kind of want to try and make things amends, at least just start by sending love, or even just visualizing, sitting down, being calm, having music in the background and visualizing that you're walking into their house, sitting down, giving them a hug, giving a handshake, and say, like, if it was a business meeting or whatever, regardless, envision it first. You can also use this technique before actually meeting someone at a big meeting. So say that there's a meeting that's been set up and you're either meeting that person in real life, or it's just a meeting online, right? Before you even engage into the meeting and start the meeting, sit down and have a little intention of the outcome of this meeting. So send love to this person and say, this meeting is going to be blessed. It's going to be positive. The outcomes are the things that I'm looking for. You know, you can use this technique as well because it's very powerful, just the power of a thought. It's even on my website, on the Vicky Soul Academy, there's one of my spiritual, one of the tribe leaders and the spiritual empowerment coach. She talks about how this can be our consciousness and how high of a consciousness and energy frequency that we have that can affect other people when we meditate. So if we're 10 people in a city meditating, we have the power to send positive frequencies over 60,000 miles in each direction. So there are, you know, scientific ways of explaining this. And many techniques that you could do, but she could do that definitely. Connect to the other person's higher self, or just try and send energy and vibrations from your heart to that person to try and communicate. And you never know, because what suddenly happens in the universe is that this person suddenly calls you and says, you know what, I came across this book. I don't know where this book has been, but my friend suddenly said, I've got this book for you. And I started reading it. And this book has this and this and this and this. And that makes me think about, you know, and that might be a part of the equation. Or that person suddenly sees something pop up on their phone, or they're out walking and see a magazine or something. And they think, oh, because this is what happens. You're sending positive energy and vibration to this person, and you're attracting something good for them so they can kind of level up in their knowledge or learn something new. So try that.
That's really interesting. So Victoria, for our final question, so yes, what are the upcoming projects that you would like to promote, and how could our virtual audience get in touch with you online? Can you just share your details with us, please?
Yes. So at the moment, I have a few very interesting projects going on. I personally, in my artist career, I have a song that's going to be released quite soon, and it's called New World. It's about us creating a new world together and being more conscious and communicating on a different level, away from anger and fear and all of these low vibration that doesn't really serve us. So that's a great project that I'm working on. And in the academy, we have a few very interesting new, some new projects coming up. One of them is actually we're designing a game, a virtual reality game, and implementing education into the virtual reality. Now, at the moment, I've had 2 meetings with the game designers, and we're currently working on the project. But the initial thought is that by using virtual reality, we're able to kind of, in a meditative state, we're able to kind of educate you on different levels and different aspects. Also, there's a few programs that we've been working on for children as well, so that you can kind of game and score points and get to different levels, but it's in educational purposes. So that's very interesting. That's one of the new projects that we're working on. And the other one is that we're setting up a 1 to 2 year online curriculum, and we're going to start rolling out kind of like the ground courses, like a month course and a 2-month course that you can do before we do the whole 1 or the 2 year curriculum. Now, what you can do right now is that you can head over to the website and sign up as a free tribe member. That means that you're a part of our community. So we like to, as I mentioned before, send out emails, inspiring words or articles. The articles are really great. And if you're out there and you really want to write an article for the Vicky Soul Academy as well, and you feel that you want to speak to the world about some topic, always welcome. You can contact me through the website. There's a page called Our Academy, and we have 7 teachers there at the moment. You're able to contact every single person through either email or social media. So you can reach me there. I'm also open to do coaching if anyone wants one-on-one coaching, or just a general chat or a question. I'm always here to guide and inspire and help. And you could do that and follow the Vicky Soul Academy on social media as well, Viva.
Thank you so much for honoring us with your presence, sharing your light, love, words of wisdom, and inspiring the world with your story. In honor of international recognition for your virtue in persistently serving and inspiring humanity with your noble deeds, World Humanitarian Drive would like to award you Xereé Soul with Inspiring Humanitarian Award, signed today, the 1st of October, signed by Dr. Abdul Basit Said. So thank you, Xereé Soul, for all your humanitarian works. And here's to many more. We'll send the award to you. So congratulations. Oh, here.
Thank you so much. Yeah. That's beautiful. Wow. That is absolutely fantastic. I'm so utterly grateful. Thank you.
We're very grateful too. Thank you so much for all your words of wisdom, sharing your light and love to us. So we would like to share a quotation by our honorable guest, Xereé Soul. Raise your vibrations, keep a positive mind, a healthy body, connect to your soul's purpose. Use music as your everyday tool to resist the negativity. Meditate, connect to the source, love and forgive. What a beautiful time to be alive.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Xereé.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sending lots of love, and what an absolutely beautiful organization, and what you're doing is inspiring millions. So thank you.
Thank you. We hope you enjoyed today's discussion with Xereé Soul, that it motivated you to value your self-worth and use music to uplift your life. Here on Inspiring Millions Show, we present you with brilliant people from around the world, so feel free to connect with them on social media. And together, let's make a difference in the world. If today's discussion inspired you, please like it, share it, send us a comment. Do share with us your takeaways from today. Follow us on our social media accounts. Click subscribe on our YouTube channel, WHD Media. Visit us on our WHD website, www.whd.org.uk for more inspiring events. Everyone stay safe and healthy. These are times we should strengthen our bodies, minds, emotions, and our faith. Please remember to have compassion, be kind to yourself, others, and our planet. Open your eyes and see what's really going on. To our frontliners, we salute you. We thank you for your hard work, sacrifices, and dedication to humanity. Love and virtual hug to you all. WHD would like to thank all those who took part in cultural diversity with morality, World Moral Day event. Congratulations to WHD Nepal chapter, headed by Miss Janaki Gurung, Secretary General of WHD Nepal. Happy birthday to my husband, John, and to all those celebrating their birthdays and special milestones this week. Happy celebrations. Have a wonderful weekend. On behalf of WHD team, especially those working behind the scenes, WHD Chairman Dr. Abdul Basit Saeed, WHD Director of Global Operations, Miss Sarah Wilson, WHD's 12 Honorable Secretary Generals, we thank you, our virtual audience from around the world, for joining us and supporting our show. This has been World Humanitarian Drive's Inspiring Millions Show. I'm Viva Andrada O'Flynn. Please join us again. Next Friday, we will have a discussion with Tammy Willen-Blake, CEO of Go to Yellow, as we inspire the world here on Inspiring Millions Show.